You've done some integration of polynomial functions. I do want to start to show you about rational and exponential functions a little bit, and really just reminding you how important prerequisite skills are. All those precalculus skills. There's a couple of them right in this problem right here. Starting with this natural log, already it's saying that you're plugging a 6 and a 4 into the problem and subtracting those answers. And you also notice that the 3 is on the outside of the entire problem. So it is easier if you can pull out that constant and just concentrate on the ln of x minus 8 in absolute value. So once you take the 6 and the 4, plug them in, and take the absolute value, you're down to the ln of 2 minus the ln of 4. So the first thing I remember about that is that the ln of a minus the ln of b can condense to the ln of a over b. So that's one very important prerequisite skill you'll use a lot in calc. Then I notice once the 2/4 reduced to 1/2 that they rewrote 1/2 as 2 to the negative 1 because of the property a to the negative 1 equals 1 over a. That's even more from algebra 1, if not definitely algebra 2. And then the step where the negative 1 was brought out front. Not everybody would think about that all the time, but this is a nice step to get to the final answer of negative 3 ln of 2. And to get to that, you're taking the property of logs right here, that the log of a number to a power can have the power go out front and just concentrate on the natural log of a. So those tricks are going to help you to do a calc question. Now the calc question would basically be to integrate. And to integrate, I'm going to first say that 3 should come out. I really want to try to make my life as easy as possible. So I still have a dx on top and an x minus 8, which actually, if I really wanted to, I could write that as 1 over x minus 8 and then times dx. So really I'm only concentrating now on the integration of this, which I do remember that when we're integrating 1 over x, that would have been the derivative of the ln of something. So if I look at the ln of x minus 8 and in my head take the derivative of it, I know its derivative is 1 over x minus 8 times the derivative of x minus 8, which is 1. So we're good in terms of being able to write an equivalent statement here. And then because we are doing ln, we should be putting absolute value signs around it, and then our vertical bar with our 4 and our 6, and then we basically have the work we did above. So practicing how to integrate a rational function is really the next step that I'll be expecting you guys to ask me questions as you move on with that. Here we're going to integrate an exponential. So I do remember if a function was e to the x, that its derivative would have been itself. But I also remember that if it was e to a number times x, let's say 5x, its derivative would have been itself times the derivative of the power. So when I start to look at these kinds of problems over here, the integral from 0 to 4, I have a subtraction statement. So I am actually integrating two different problems. 0 to 4 of the 2e to the 0.25x dx, and integrating 0 to 4 2x dx. So that's officially what you're doing. You're officially breaking it up into two different integrations. Okay, and don't forget that the first integration you want to take out the 2. So basically that's what's happening here. In the explanation, they're taking out the 2, and then to integrate e to the 0.25x, they are writing itself and then dividing by the coefficient of x, which would take care of the problem that we were concerned about when I first mentioned the derivative of e to the 5x. And so using that trick there and then continuing practicing integration of polynomials, the integral of 2x is x squared. Using the 0 to 4, plug it into everything. And there's really no tricks here. They're just rewriting 0.25 as a quarter to make it easier to do 2 divided by a quarter is an 8. Nothing else too spectacular here. And notice their answer does have an E in it. So give these a try as the last assignments for the third marking period. And please reach out. I can't wait to hear